From childhood, I was physically weak, constantly ill, and nearly died several times. Eventually, my father, in his desperation, found me a happiness-invoking husband, a tall, robust man named Kai. Since our marriage, we've eaten, lived, and slept together. The miraculous thing is, my health has gradually improved. Once my body was well, my mind also started to wander. For example, Kai is very handsome, with sharp, bright eyes and a straight nose. Another example, his physique is beyond perfect, broad shoulders, a slim waist, and incredibly long legs, a reverse triangle figure that makes people want to drool just looking at it. And, his chest is super big, just looking at it makes me feel very drawn to him. Not only do I want to touch it, I also want to suck it. So, late one night, I quietly crawled over to him. Taking advantage of his deep sleep, I held my breath and stealthily crept closer. He slept very rigidly, lying perfectly still like a statue. It was a hot summer night, and the thin blanket couldn't cover his strong, rising chest. Instead, it only added to the temptation for me to commit a crime. I carefully leaned over and extended my guilty hand. I swear, I only intended to touch it once. Squeeze it once. Hee hee. My fingers got closer and closer, almost touching his chest. Just then, he opened his eyes. A strong hand, like an iron clamp, seized my wrist, and his icy gaze turned towards me. His deep voice resonated. "What are you trying to do?" I pouted and said sulkily. "Kai, you won't even let me touch you once? We've been married for 3 years. The first 2 years don't count because I was too weak. But this year, I'm healthy and radiant. What's wrong with wanting to be intimate with my husband?" No matter how proactive I am, he maintains his usual cold attitude. He won't even allow a single touch. He's incredibly petty. But aside from not letting me touch him, I really can't find fault with him. He specifically learned how to cook nourishing meals, personally taking care of my every meal. When I was reluctant to go out in the sun, he would carry me out to sunbathe. I love snacks, so he bakes pastries for me. He even cultivates a flower garden, finding rare varieties from all over. He regularly soaks my feet with traditional Chinese medicine and carefully massages each toe. Each time he holds my ankle, his bony knuckles send shivers down my spine, making my heart pound. One time, I rubbed my head against his shoulder like a kitten. "Kai, I can't sleep. Can't we do something adult for a bit?" Kai stiffened, his breathing heavy. He lowered his head to look at me, his Adam's apple bobbing. I thought I had a chance. But then, he extended a finger and gently pushed my forehead away. "I'll make you a late-night snack." "You blockhead." I angrily tossed and turned on the bed, biting the blanket to vent my frustration. Just then, my best friend posted a photo showing off her love life, her neck covered in obvious hickeys as if gnawed by a tiger. I was so furious that I immediately posted on my social circle. "You're so indifferent to me, I really want to give you an aphrodisiac." I had just posted that defiant status on my social circle, and before I could even feel smug, lines of text suddenly appeared before my eyes, shimmering like LED lights running across the air. I'm dying of laughter. The female lead doesn't even know her husband is a werewolf. He's practically going crazy wanting her, and he has to hold it in until his face is twisted just by looking at her. Actually, her health improved over the past few years because, first, Kai poured his heart into her tonics, werewolf blood. Second, every night he secretly transfers chi to the female lead, boosting her physique and pulling her back from the gates of hell. Every time the male lead finishes transferring chi, he struggles so much it's pitiful. As soon as he's done, he has to hide in the bathroom and self-reflect for half the night. Kai might be cold and gruff on the outside, but he secretly stares at his wife every day and even secretly hugs her pajamas. I froze. My heart felt as if someone had just pinched it. So, I recovered because of him? The more I thought about it, the more shocked I became, and then the more I loved him to death. Not long after, Kai brought the late-night snack to the room. I gazed at him with shimmering eyes, as if looking at the moon. Kai, on the other hand, was like a soldier on guard, completely wrapped up. Indeed, guarding against his wife is like guarding against a ferocious beast. He set the tray of food down and said softly, "Miss, please eat." I've told him 100 times not to call me miss. Is my name that hard to pronounce? Still angry, I put my hands on my hips and ordered, "Feed me." He knows I like fried food but doesn't let me eat too much, fearing it would harm my stomach. Yet today, he made French fries and fried chicken wings. Golden and crispy, dipped in ketchup, one bite, and I forgot all my anger. Kai slowly fed me, his gaze focused and gentle. A wicked idea suddenly sparked in my mind. I pretended to accidentally grasp his hand. His hand trembled slightly. A drop of ketchup fell onto his finger. Bright red. I lowered my head, bit the remaining fry, my lips touching his hand. Kai suddenly clenched his fist, his eyes darkening momentarily. He wanted to pull his hand away, but I wouldn't let him. I lowered my head again, my tongue lightly licking the ketchup from his fingertip, slowly cleaning it as if savoring the most delicious dessert in the world. I looked up and smiled innocently, "It's delicious. You're a really good cook." He immediately sprang up like a coiled spring, stepping back 3 paces. He hid his hand behind his back, his earlobes bright red, and veins bulging in his neck. Beautiful in an incredibly sexy way. I blinked innocently. "I'm still hungry. I want more to eat, Kai." He choked on his words. He clearly wanted to avoid me, but his eyes couldn't leave me. Seconds later, he took a long, sharp breath and stepped back another pace. "Miss, tonight I'll sleep in the living room. Get some rest early." With that, he fled for his life. Just as he opened the door to escape, I vaguely saw a fluffy tail gently wagging behind him. A real werewolf? I didn't hesitate, I immediately gave chase. I chased after him. But Kai ran as if he had grown 4 legs. I had just tiptoed into the hallway when his figure vanished. I stood in front of the living room door, which was also the spare room he usually slept in when he hid from his wife. I turned the doorknob, locked. This guy really fears me like a wild beast. I haven't even taken off my clothes yet. I have a key, but it seems he's even used the deadbolt from the inside. It's over. At this point, no tail, no man. All my effort of licking his hand until my face was bright red was wasted. Unwilling to give up, I stood outside the door, itching with frustration. Suddenly, an idea popped into my head: pretend to be hurt. I took a deep breath and screamed, "Aya! Kai!" My pathetic scream echoed throughout the 2nd floor. All my nerves were focused on the living room door, hoping my husband would rush out in his wolf form so I could witness it firsthand. But then, behind me, leisurely, slow footsteps sounded. A familiar, deep, steady male voice, smiling, yet not smiling. "You're frail and still not careful, what if you fall?" It was Liam, my childhood friend, who had been visiting since the afternoon. My whole body stiffened. I completely forgot that Liam was staying over tonight, and the living room next to my room was his. I was still panicking when I caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye, Kai's room door flung open. He rushed out, his face panicked, his voice deep. "Miss." My eyes shone like headlights. I intended to throw myself into his arms and, while I was at it, feel for that fluffy tail I'd just vaguely seen. But before I could even jump, a steady arm wrapped around my waist, pulling me back as if lifting a kitten. Liam chuckled softly, his hand resting on my waist, asking with concern, "Did you fall? Let me help you." I panicked. This isn't good. If Kai's tail showed now, Liam would see it. I quickly reached out and covered Liam's eyes, covering them extremely tightly, my hands trembling. "No. Don't look." Liam paused, his deep voice carrying a hint of tenderness. "What's wrong? Is there something I shouldn't see?" He gently removed my hands, his gaze profound. I swiftly stepped back, retracting my hand as if shocked by electricity the moment I touched his, clearly uncomfortable. Nothing at all. I avoided his gaze, turned my head, and was about to call Kai. But in front, the living room door had already closed. Question mark. I was stunned. I hadn't even finished touching my husband's hand, and I hadn't clearly seen the tail. Did he run again? The door slammed shut with a thud, as cold and heartless as the face of the man who had just fled. I stood frozen in place, my hand still extended, not yet withdrawn. My fingertips still remembered the sensation of touching his hand, rough, warm, with a slight tremor. Kai, why did you run? Was I going to eat you? Well, I might have. Clearly, I was trying to tempt him, yet it felt like I was the one being trapped. He avoids me like the plague, and as soon as he sees me being a little intimate with someone else, he immediately gets angry. But he refuses to say anything, doesn't try to stop me, just runs, locks the door, and avoids me. 3 years. I tilted my head back and sighed. I'd been married to him for 3 years. The first year, I was so sick I couldn't get out of bed, he stayed by my side day and night, not leaving for a single step. The second year, I got better and could walk around, he immediately started cooking, taking care of my every meal. The third year, I'm completely healthy. And he still maintains his no touching, no contact, no intimate interaction state. It's as if I'm a Buddha statue that he can only worship but not touch. At first, I thought it was because I was weak, and he was afraid strenuous activity would affect my health. But thinking about it now, that's not right. No matter how many times I initiated or hinted, he always dodged. I even wore short pajamas, nearly exposing my thighs, and in the hot summer, I didn't turn on the fan to find an excuse to crawl into his arms. The result was he turned the air conditioning down to 16 degrees Celsius and put 2 more blankets on me. I truly don't understand. Does he not love me? Or does he have a secret? I lay stiffly on the bed, suddenly remembering when I posted that status about giving him an aphrodisiac, and then Kai's face turned red, breathing heavily, rushing to accuse me of drugging him. Now that I think about it, could it be I really accidentally stimulated him? I pursed my lips, my heart pounding. No, I have to verify this. Tomorrow night, I must find a way to get into his room and see if he really has a tail. Behind me, a light laugh sounded. It seems, you two newlyweds aren't getting along very well. I whirled around and glared at him. Why did you come out? This is a private matter in my and my husband's bedroom. Why are you interfering? The smile on Liam's face stiffened for a second but quickly returned to normal. I heard Kai go to the kitchen to cook, and I happened to be a little hungry, so I came out to see if there was any for me. Then I heard you scream. I thought you fell. I'm sorry. Liam lowered his head, his tone sincere, making it difficult for me to scold him further. I irritably waved my hand, intending to return to my room. But as soon as I turned around, my whole body froze. My feet felt nailed to the spot. Liam took a step forward, asking somewhat anxiously. What's wrong? Mingyue? He raised his hand and waved it in front of me. I seemed to snap out of it, my eyes wide as I looked at him. Liam's expression immediately became serious. What's wrong? Do you feel unwell? I nodded along, holding my chest. My chest feels a bit tight. I'm going back to my room. With that, I turned around and hurried back to my room, closing the door. Inside the room, my heart was pounding, and my mind was in turmoil. Liam. We grew up together. In my eyes, he was always gentle, warm, like an older brother. I had never thought he would, like me. I even less expected him to do such things as people said. I gripped my phone tightly and didn't hesitate to call someone to investigate Liam more thoroughly. At the same time, in the living room, Kai was leaning against the door, his ears perked up, listening to the commotion outside. The outside gradually quieted down. But the knock on the door that he longed for never came. The scene from just now kept replaying in his mind, Liam hugging her, and she didn't push him away. Kai's ears drooped, and the tail behind him slowly drooped as well. A bitter feeling, like a needle piercing deep into his heart. Uncomfortable. Annoyed. Yet, he didn't dare to ask. Liam's words seemed to echo in his ears. Remember your identity, a dirty-blooded wolf, capable of transforming into a beast at any moment, an outsider. If she knew, she would definitely be scared to tears. Don't dream of what doesn't belong to you. She needs you, you should consider yourself lucky. Once she's recovered, get out immediately. Kai felt as if all his strength had drained away. He knelt on the floor, holding his head in his hands, his voice hoarse, whispering in pain. But I really, really like her. Mingyue, will you be afraid of me? Could you please, not be afraid of me? I beg you. In the master bedroom, after finishing the phone call, I tossed and turned, unable to sleep. My mind was filled with images of Kai. Now that I think about it, when he saw Liam hugging me earlier, Kai's expression seemed to be jealousy? I have to explain. I recalled the previous messages, saying that every night Kai silently transferred chi to heal me. But tonight, I had expressed my intentions so clearly, making him afraid to come near. He still hadn't had the chance to do that. So, he will definitely come back. I tried to stay conscious, not falling too deeply asleep. Sure enough, in a daze, my lips suddenly felt a gentle touch. Hot breath fanned my nose, carrying a sense of urgency and lingering affection. Kai propped himself up on both sides of my head, carefully kissing my lips. Even though he was going crazy with jealousy, even though his desire was about to explode, he still kissed me very gently. As if he would immediately pull back if I stirred even a little. My heart softened. I reached out and hugged his waist. Got you. Kai's eyes flew open, a mix of surprise and panic. He tried to pull away, but I held him tightly around the waist, coaxing softly. I really like, you can continue. I gently kissed the corner of his lips, as an encouragement. The next moment, my breath was swallowed whole. His kiss was no longer gentle like before, but carried a wild longing. He didn't close his eyes, his gaze fixed on me, deep as if wanting to burn me. His eyes gradually shifted from black to a pale golden color. I flinched slightly. Yet I felt an immense liking for it. My hand slipped around his waist, searching. And I touched something soft, furry, like a tail? I grasped it, the sensation in my hand as soft as touching a fluffy pillow. Kai immediately stiffened, his whole body trembling, as if awakened from a dream. He tilted his head, burying his face in the hollow of my neck, breathing heavily. Miss, don't. His hot breath on my collarbone made me tingle. I gently coaxed him, good boy, let me take a look. No. No. He held me tighter, afraid I would turn on the light. He stammered an excuse. That's just a toy. He didn't want me to know his true identity. I didn't expose him, just teased him with a laugh. So, every night you kiss me, do you also wear this tail? The soft tail in my hand wiggled slightly, squirming uneasily. The fur at the tip gently brushed against my calf, tickling me. Kai's deep voice sounded, carrying a hint of embarrassment. He was probably so embarrassed he wanted to burrow into the ground. The corners of my lips curved uncontrollably, my voice lazily drawn out. How did you know I liked tails? I really like it, Kai. I like the tail, and I like you too. Kai pressed close to me, his whole body trembling slightly, every muscle seeming to contract from trying to restrain his emotions. I gently coaxed him, next time, let me see your tail, and I won't pursue the matter of you secretly kissing me anymore. Okay, Kai? Kai sighed in relief, okay. I began to explain. You left so abruptly just now, I thought you were angry, so I came to find you. But you locked the door, so I had to pretend to get you to come out. I didn't know Liam was right behind me. I should have pushed him away immediately. I'm sorry, Kai. Please don't be angry with me anymore, okay? Kai was speechless, seemingly not expecting me to say these things. After a long while, he hugged me tighter, his head rubbing gently against my neck, his voice slightly hoarse and full of grievance. I'm not angry. It's me who isn't good enough. He hesitated. I helped him finish his sentence. We're already married. At that time, you should have pulled me to your side and declared, this is my wife. You have to be a little stronger, a little more domineering, understand? Kai remained silent for quite a while. I could feel his face pressed against my neck, burning hot. The soft little tail on my calf kept wagging back and forth. He softly hummed, his voice deep, but with a hint of undisguised joy in it. Okay. I imagined that soft tail wagging, and for some reason, all I could picture was Kai looking both embarrassed and happy, hugging me, unable to hide his tail. I really want to see it. When will he let me see it? A moment later, Kai finally released me, propping himself up on the bed. It's late, Miss should sleep now. He looked at me, his pale golden eyes from before now completely black. I couldn't clearly see his expression in the darkness. I just quietly shifted inward and patted the edge of the bed. Sleep with me. Kai sighed, then lay down beside me. Since I was still hugging him, he couldn't lie on his back and could only lie on his side. His hands awkwardly didn't know where to go. I took one of his hands and placed it on my waist. Then, I snuggled into his embrace, burying my face in his chest like a kitten snuggling into a warm blanket. I'm sleeping now, Kai. Pressed against his firm chest, I closed my eyes contentedly. Above my head, I heard his strained gulp. It was well past midnight, and I was utterly exhausted. Just as I was drifting off to sleep, I felt his hand tighten around my waist. His body temperature grew higher and higher. A hoarse voice, like a whisper from his throat, seeped into my ear. I'm not angry with you. I'm just angry at myself. Miss, how can I ever be worthy of you? He lowered his head and placed a kiss on the top of my head. I responded in my sleepiness, instinctively patting his back, then fell into a deep slumber. Kai chuckled softly, holding me even tighter. The soft furry tail behind him rose up, gently coiling around my legs. He said softly, I'm really happy you like it. Thank you for encouraging me, I'll try my best. The next morning, I woke up quite early, but Kai was nowhere to be seen. As soon as I opened the door, I ran right into him, about to step inside. In his hand, he held a freshly picked bouquet of flowers, their vibrant, soft petals highlighting his tough, sturdy appearance. The sight made my heart skip a beat, it truly brightened my eyes. Usually, at this hour, Kai would arrange flowers for me, squeeze toothpaste onto my brush, prepare a few weather-appropriate outfits, and then go to the kitchen to cook breakfast, all while waiting for me to wake up. He smiled gently, his lips curving. Woke up early today? I stood on my tiptoes, kissed his cheek, and smiled. I have something to tell Dad. Last night, I remembered something. My parents had once been in dire straits, which was why they had to find a happiness-invoking husband for me 3 years ago. At that time, Liam had volunteered. Logically, our families knew each other, and if we married, our bond would deepen. So why did my father disagree? Just then, Dad came downstairs, preparing to leave for the company. I quickly rushed past Kai and ran down. Dad, wait a minute. I pulled his hand, I have something to ask. Glancing to see Liam also just coming out of his room, I immediately pulled Dad into the study. Let's talk in the study. As soon as I closed the door, outside, Liam stood in front of Kai, arms crossed, looking arrogant. Tell me, what does Mingyue want to tell Uncle so secretly? Could it be, she wants a divorce? Hearing the word divorce, Kai's hand, holding the bouquet, clenched tightly. His expression unchanged, he turned and walked into the room. Liam leaned against the doorframe, a mocking expression on his face. It's rare to see Mingyue wake up so early, this must be very important to her, huh? Kai finished arranging the flowers in the vase and responded indifferently. Miss doesn't like others dirtying her room, she's a bit of a clean freak. He turned his head, his gaze landing directly on Liam's half-foot intruding into the room. Liam froze, veins popping in his forehead, gritting his teeth. Humph, let's see how long you can be smug. She's just used to your care, she doesn't actually like you, does she? Mingyue has never been exposed to outsiders. Her thoughts are still pure. She's just confusing gratitude with liking. Kai finished arranging the bouquet and walked straight towards Liam, his voice calm. What about you? You don't even have the right to step into her room. With that, without waiting for Liam to retract his foot, he slammed the door shut. Liam's foot was caught, hurting so much he screamed. Ah. You just wait. Downstairs, in the study, I was just about to speak when I heard Liam scream. My sentence was cut short. My dad pushed up his glasses and said calmly. The villa has cameras. We'll have the housekeeper check later. You continue. I collected myself. Oh, I wanted to ask, why didn't you agree to let Liam marry me back then, Dad? My dad frowned. Why are you asking this? I tugged on his arm, acting spoiled. Dad, tell me. I didn't have any clear evidence, so I didn't dare to expose Liam yet. After all, my family and the Liam family had business dealings, so I couldn't act rashly. Dad, having no choice with my pestering, explained. I wanted to find someone who could live with us after marriage. But the Liam family would never agree to let Liam live with us. And I wouldn't allow you to leave the Zhu family and suffer. Furthermore, Dad looked at me and slowly said, he had no effect on you. He gently patted my hand. It's good that you and Kai are living well. Don't think about other things. I heard a hidden meaning in my dad's words, so I probed further. But Kai has nothing. Aren't you worried, Dad? Before I could finish my sentence, my dad flicked my forehead hard, his face stern. Don't think like that. After you married him, you recovered. He's your lifesaver. Everyone in the Zhu family, from top to bottom, considers him a real son-in-law. If you dare to have any other thoughts, I'll skin you alive. I immediately raised my hand to swear. I absolutely have no other thoughts. I like Kai very much, Dad. You know it, I follow him around every day. It was almost certain now, my dad knew Kai's true identity. That's best. Dad stood up. Alright, if there's nothing else, I'm going to work. The company has a mountain of tasks. I nodded vigorously, not forgetting to remind him. Dad, remember to be careful with the Liam family. Dad looked at me twice. Although he didn't understand, he still nodded. After seeing Dad out the door, I noticed faint scrolling text appearing in the corner of the wall. Back then, the female lead's father knew that werewolf blood could cure illnesses, so he worked very hard to find the male lead. Otherwise, with his poor and mysterious background, how could it have been his turn to be the happiness-invoking husband? Now they tell me. Too late. I went back to my room to change, then headed downstairs for breakfast. Something was strange, Kai was nowhere to be seen. I glanced around, and before I could spot him, my phone vibrated. It was a voice message from my best friend, Lindsay. I pressed play. Ha 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 ha, do you need me to send you some real aphrodisiacs? I'm dying of laughter, you've been married for 3 years and still haven't dealt with Kai. This marriage is totally wasted, huh? I panicked and muted the sound. In the dining room, the house staff lowered their heads, pretending not to hear anything. I just wanted to find a hole to crawl into out of sheer embarrassment. Oh my God, I posted that story last night, and forgot to delete it. Indeed, midnight is the most dangerous time for impulsiveness. I gritted my teeth and messaged back. Take your strawberries and get out of my friends list. Lindsay laughed for a full 60 seconds. When her voice was converted to text, it was all ha 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 ha. My hands trembled with anger. I thought you had some brilliant idea, but you just laughed for a whole minute. I'm blocking you right now. She replied nonchalantly. Don't, I have a surprise gift for you. Remember to check. What gift? No reply. I was itching with frustration. Just then. Mingwei. Liam hobbled downstairs. I raised an eyebrow, even more curious about what had happened to him just now. But I didn't ask. No need. I turned and called loudly. Butler Chung. Liam is hurt. Quickly call someone to take him back to the Xia family home. Don't let it get worse. Liam stopped dead in his tracks and quickly spoke up. Mingyue, I'm fine. Butler Chung. Get the fastest car. Don't delay. Butler Chung rushed over to support Liam. Yes, miss, I will personally oversee taking young Master Xia home safely. I waved my hand and turned to go upstairs. Looking at Liam for another second made my eyes ache. After asking the butler to bring up last night's camera footage, it only took me a few minutes to watch it all. In the spacious living room, the dialogue echoed clearly from the video. Tell me, what does Mingyue want to tell Uncle so secretly? Could it be, she wants a divorce? It's rare to see Mingyue wake up so early, this must be very important to her, huh? I stared at the screen, getting more and more furious the more I watched. The butler stood waiting at the door. Does Miss need me to do anything? I shut down the computer. Where's Kai? The butler shook his head. About that, we don't interfere with the young master's affairs. I took a deep breath. Everything Liam has ever touched in this house, throw it all out. Tear down the living room for me too. From now on, he's forbidden from stepping foot in the Zhu family home. Understood, Mississippi. The butler bowed and retreated. I started to worry. I called Kai, he didn't answer. I searched everywhere in the house but couldn't find him. Where did he go? This is bad. He's already sensitive, now, after Liam's words, could he have gotten angry and left for good? Doesn't he want me anymore? I was so panicked, I almost rushed out to look for him, then. The door suddenly pushed open. Kai stumbled in. His cheeks were flushed red, his body unsteady, breathing heavily, leaning against the door he had just closed. Miss, you. I rushed to him, supporting him, my face full of worry. What's wrong? Do you have a fever? The moment Kai touched me, he recoiled as if shocked by electricity. Question mark. What's that supposed to mean? Kai? I saw him turn his head, avoiding my gaze, his face as red as a tomato, his voice full of grievance and embarrassment. Miss, how could you? Give me medicine. I was stunned, huh? Comments flooded the screen. My best friend is doing well. She invited the male lead out, gave him medicine, then turned around and said the female lead ordered it. Ha 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 ha. Dying of laughter. Couldn't even buy an aphrodisiac, didn't have veterinary medicine, in the end, used flour mixed with water, smiley face. The male lead is like this because he imagined too much. From the moment he saw the female lead story, he started overthinking. Now his dream has come true, his face is embarrassed, but his heart wants to explode with joy. So, this was the surprise Lindsay told me about. I blinked, it was indeed a surprise that made one want to get heatstroke. I immediately pounced on Kai, hugging him tightly, burying my face in his firm chest, and then, grandly admitting. That's right, I did it. You've been so cold to me, I couldn't take it anymore. We're husband and wife, please cherish me a little, Kai. I looked up, kissed his chin, then lightly brushed my lips across his Adam's apple. Kai, I really, really like you. Kiss me, like last night, okay? Kai's body felt like it was on fire, blazing hot and intimidating. He looked at me for a long time, his eyes like flames, gradually spreading to encompass me. Then suddenly, he reached out and covered my eyes. A scorching kiss immediately descended. I was pushed backward by him, falling onto the bed. In that chaotic moment, I think I saw a faint yellow streak flash by, then my eyes were covered again, this time by Kai's shirt. He whispered huskily. "Don't look." I obediently closed my eyes. Yes. So, shouldn't a good girl get a reward? His voice was hoarse, yet carried a gentle, amused tone. Yes, a good girl should get a reward. Hot, hurried kisses rained down. His deep voice sounded as if wrapped in honey. Good girl, don't hide. Don't be afraid of me. I frantically groped around, not knowing where to grab, accidentally touching a tail. Kai froze. I was puzzled. Is it a toy? Kai breathed heavily. A toy. I grabbed the tip of the tail, bringing it to my lips for a soft kiss. Next time, wear ears too. I like soft, furry ears. Okay. Kai's voice was so hoarse it sounded like it was about to break. A few days later, Liam came to find me again. At the same time, the person I sent to investigate also reported back. For the first time, I seriously looked at the person who grew up with me from childhood, Liam. I used to be a sickly child, rarely going to school. It was Liam who came every day after school to tell me stories about class. I had no friends, children were afraid I was too weak and wouldn't play with me. Only Liam wasn't disgusted. He pushed my wheelchair to take me for walks and bought me delicious things. Every time I went to the hospital for treatment, he would take time off to follow me, crying even more fiercely than my parents. 3 years ago, he defied his family's objections and volunteered to live with the Zhu family as a son-in-law, just wishing for me to be healthy and happy. Those acts of care once touched me deeply. But now I realize, they were too dazzling. They made me forget the hidden, murky details beneath. Mingyue, why? Standing outside the villa gate, Liam looked at me with pained and unwilling eyes. I stood inside, he stood outside. Several guards were already in position. If he made any abnormal moves, he would be immediately thrown out. If there's anything I didn't do well, you can tell me. We've grown up together for so many years. I cut him off. Is that affection? It's your sick possessiveness. Liam, stop acting. The stories you told me about school, they were all negative, making me even more afraid, refusing to go to class, only relying on you. My friends around me, one by one, were slandered and threatened by you, then one by one they left me. After that, you played the good guy, comforting me, making me solely dependent on you. You're a great actor. Even Lindsay thought you were just testing her to see if she was worthy of being my friend. She thought you were just too concerned about me. When Lindsay recounted it, we were both shocked to realize. If she wasn't the type to be 3 times more thick-skinned than normal people, I probably wouldn't have anyone left to talk to now. With every word I spoke, Liam's face grew paler. Now that I think back, every time he tried to approach me, I instinctively repelled him. It turns out my body was trying to protect itself. Suddenly, Liam laughed. The laughter started softly, then suddenly became distorted and crazed. Zhu Mingyue. The guards immediately rushed forward, blocking him. Kai also stepped out and stood in front of me, his eyes cold and vigilant. Liam's expression gradually twisted, his voice crazed. Zhu Mingyue, you really don't know what's good for you. I love you so much. Isn't it good for you to have only me by your side? For you, I'm willing to be a son-in-law to the Zhu family. I love you so much. I didn't want you to go to school because I was afraid you'd get hurt. Not letting others near you was to protect you. This world is very cruel, don't you understand? For example, Kai. Do you know Kai? Shut him up, and send him back to the Xia family. I yelled. The guards immediately acted, covering Liam's mouth and dragging him away like a sack of trash. That damn villain, what protection of the female lead. In reality, there was no storm outside. All the turmoil was brought by him. This kind of psycho should be cut into 18 pieces. All those who hurt the female lead must be executed. The female lead's parents too, though they loved their daughter, they neglected her due to work and didn't discover Liam's true nature. The best thing the female lead's father did was find the male lead and give him a lot of money to perform rituals for his daughter's good fortune. I didn't continue reading the comments. I held Kai's hand tightly. Let's go home. Kai turned back, his eyes looking at me with a complicated expression. I smiled and pulled him home with me. If he didn't want to talk, I wouldn't ask. When he wanted to share, I would listen. That evening, my parents came home. They already knew about Liam. My mother's eyes were red. Mingyue, it's my fault. From now on, I'll take good care of you at home. I quickly shook my head. No need, no need. I have Kai taking care of me now. I held their hands. I don't blame you, Mom and Dad. The Xie family and the Zhu family were originally close. It's just, who would have thought Liam would turn out like that? My father sighed, feeling fortunate at the same time. It's a good thing it was Kai back then. Mingyue, I'm sorry. My father intended to say more, then stopped himself. Finally, he decided to speak. This truth should be told to you, lest you find out later and it affects your marriage. He let out a breath and told me the story. Kai is actually not an ordinary person. That boy is a werewolf. Decades ago, the werewolf bloodline was mixed, their temperaments unstable, but their blood could cure all diseases, so they were highly sought after. Werewolf territories were divided, and their numbers rapidly decreased. Once caught, they would be imprisoned, bled, and left to die. Gradually, werewolves learned to hide among humans, carefully existing. Kai's mother brought him to hide in the city. One time, she accidentally revealed herself and was discovered. His mother fled with him. At that time, I was looking for information about werewolves. They were covered in injuries, exhausted, and that's when I found them. I helped Kai escape from his pursuers, arranged his mother's funeral, and promised to protect him, on the condition that he save you. He agreed. My father looked at me, surprised. Aren't you surprised? I immediately acted surprised. Ah? Is he really a werewolf? My mother glanced at me. No matter what Kai is like, don't despise him, understand? Why do you all keep thinking I'll despise him? He saved me. I hadn't even had a chance to express all my feelings for him yet. My parents were finally relieved. We talked for a while, then they went up to their room to rest. After my parents left, Kai brought in the herbal medicine. As always, he knelt before me, took my ankle, and dipped my foot into the basin. While gently massaging, he asked, "What did you talk about?" "Just chit-chat." Kai hesitated for a moment. "You've known for a long time, haven't you?" He spoke, not looking at me, but his hand tightened. "Yeah, not that long." His hand trembled slightly, his breathing gradually softening. I reached out and stroked his head. "I told you, I really like tails, and I really like fluffy ears too. I also really, really like you." Hearing that, Kai looked up, trembling. His eyes were red at the corners. "Aren't you afraid of me?" I caressed his cheek. "Liam isn't a good person, don't listen to him. Listen to me, I'm your wife." Kai naturally leaned into my palm. I'll listen to my wife." I smiled. Yes, a good little boy gets a reward." I lifted my foot and placed it precisely on his chest. Kai swallowed, his gaze slowly heating up. My soul rubbed against his chest, and I lifted his shirt. "Kai, every time you wash my feet, I want to do this." A second later, my ankle was gripped tightly. I was swept into his arms. "Unfortunately, I want to too." I wrapped my arms around his neck. "This time, do I have the honor of seeing your tail?" As I spoke, the fluffy tail already wrapped around my ankle. I widened my eyes in surprise. "It's so flexible." Kai placed me on the bed. "It's even more flexible, good girl." The tail continued to cling to me. I widened my eyes, holding Kai tightly around the neck. Don't. His deep voice held a mesmerizing quality. Look at me, good girl, look at me. I looked up and saw a pair of fluffy black ears. Kai used his ear to brush my cheek. A good girl will be rewarded. Right, good girl. This isn't right. The damp tail wrapped around my waist, and my lips were sealed. His pale golden eyes only saw my reflection. Blushing, trembling, Kai whispered coaxingly. After many close calls, my father found me a strong, rugged husband to perform rituals for good luck. Just what I want. I want this reward. Yes, it's my turn to reward the good girl now. As the sky outside gradually brightened, Kai finally showed mercy. The reward for the good girl, I really like it. I was too tired to speak. He held my hand, intertwining our fingers. His voice was reverent. Zhu Mingyue, the luckiest thing in my life was becoming your happiness-invoking husband. We will forever, always be together. The end.